Hey, yo, what's going on, friends? Happy In Madness Monday. If you are listening, then this is episode of our ridiculously numbered system 23.5 In Madness Pod. Sean the Butcher, Vertebrae 33. How's it going?
What's going on, Shen? How are you? How are things?
Things are great. We're coming off the high of our last episode and also the high of just being stoned right now. I loved Cloverfield. It was one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that's how we kicked off 2024. Well, we didn't kick off 2024 like that. We kicked off 2024 with a point five where we were recapping our Die Hard and Exorcist episodes, and we
Mhm.
forgot for a moment what the episode was about. And then we're like, oh, yeah, we talked about the new Exorcist movie. And then we had a nice little laugh to ourselves. So if you haven't caught the first point five of the year, make sure you check that out. We are already up to the second one of the year. And it's a very special day because we are going to dip into the mail sack and do a couple of other things. But if you are new here or if you're a veteran, I'm sure you know by now, follow us on the socials at In Madness Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, the mail sack, which we are dipping into today, in madnesspod at gmail.com. We want to hear from you. We are doing this podcast for you. Hopefully you are as entertained listening as we are doing this, talking about these movies. We want to hear your takes on the movies or the podcast or whatever the hell you want to talk about. Music, the playlist we have. We are on YouTube, In Madness Pod. We also have a Spotify playlist where we have damn near 3 hours of music, a collection of movies that we have covered from the past year. Vertebrae, I love the graphic you made with all of the movie posters of everything that we've
Mhm.
covered from last year. So cool. I, I
Yeah,
can't
it
I
just
can't wait for
stunk
the
that it
one at the
wasn't.
end of this year.
I know it wasn't 24. It was throwing me off because it was 22 because we started this out with not we weren't breaking the apart, right? There was this whole other system, so we kind of had to figure out where we
What
went.
what killed us was Batman. Batman, which is like a almost 3 hour movie, and we put out an almost 3 hour podcast. And I was like, we got to do something here. There needs to be a better way. And we think that this is the way by we take movies. If you're new here, we take movies and split them in half. And then in between those, we do episodes like this, what we
Mhm.
like to call our point fives. It's not a full pie. It's like your own personal pizza, and that's that. I love doing these. And if you enjoy listening, spread the madness. Tell your friends about this show. Tell them to listen. Tell them to follow us on the socials. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you rate us. We are going to read the ratings right now, whether they're
Mm.
good, whether they're bad. Constructive criticism will only help improve depending on who it's coming from, I guess, unless you're some jabroni. I don't give a damn what you think. But I've seen some comments in some posts lately, and I've been like, what? Shut up, you. Shut up.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen those. I'll be
So
excited to see
yeah,
those.
somebody posted on one of the YouTube videos too much shite in the beginning, which I guess they mean like you're supposed to
Oh,
start the episode and just immediately start
which
talking
which
about
one
the
was
movie.
it? Oh, I gotta go
One of the
look.
recent YouTube, I
I gotta
forgot that
go
there were
look.
YouTube comments, so I did the stupidest thing ever and started reading YouTube comments. Um,
Did you reply?
no, it's I think I might have liked it or whatever. It's not even worth no. Thing is that don't warrant a reply, don't need a reply.
Hey, they're
It's
listening. I don't
yeah,
care. You
it's
should have
all good.
replied with
It's
like a
all good.
massive paragraph of type, like so that there's too much in the beginning, but now you have to read my reply and it's like
Yeah.
175 word,
No, I think I
word
like the way
reply.
that we set things up. I feel like I mean, we do like 15 minutes, just a quick catch up, just a quick review. It's not for everybody. Listen, it's
Listen,
okay.
I know that. I listen to quite a few podcasts. I get it. If you want, you can hit the 30-second button and jump forward. If you're like,
For real.
we're not getting into like, oh, we mowed our lawn this weekend and all this other little stuff, but we do catch up and we are building an audience that's listening on a regular basis. So if they are, it's kind of like we're seeing our friends again and we haven't seen them for a week and we're just, hey, how are you? And then we order the meal and sit down and eat this meal and spend some time together. So there's always going to be a little bit in the beginning. Boy, you know what I'm thinking is they probably never listen to the point fives then because it's all. Would you call it?
Just
What did you
us.
say it was?
babbling.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Yeah, I don't
What
know.
did
I
they
don't know.
say? Too much what? What was it?
Too much shite in the beginning.
Yeah, so then the point 5 is just all that
Oh,
then,
it's all
so
shite. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but,
Yeah.
um, I wanted to bring up one thing before we dive into the mail, and I know we're supposed to be past it, but somehow I'm not past The Exorcist.
Oh. Wait, The Exorcist or The Exorcist Believer?
3.
Oh, so so you watch Exorcist
I
3
watched Exorcist
while
3
you were sick.
while I was sick, didn't help, but, what a crazy movie.
Did you like it or did
I
you
did,
yeah, I need to
and
watch it again. I trashed
it
it so
is
hard. I feel bad
this
in our
movie
Exorcist.
is wild, and when I say wild, I mean there's also some really odd humor in it as well. I'm gonna give one spoiler away for people who've never seen The Exorcist 3 that came out in 1990, and it blew my mind when I was watching it, but there's a scene one of the guys says to this nurse as she's leaving the room, "May the Schwartz be with you." And he's just making a Spaceballs joke in this movie. But then there's just this insane plot, and we get a follow up, and we get more Kinderman, and we get this very detective y, and it has just some slasher bits to it, and it's got the demonic stuff and a detective story. It is a wild, wild movie. It is definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. I think you could probably skip 2. I never saw 2, but I kinda wanna see it because the trailer is insane. But this was an enjoyable watch and really weird, like unfiltered, blatty, right out of the book and onto the screen without anyone else telling him like, "Hey, don't do that or don't do this." And there are some things I think work really well and others which kind of seem a little odd, but it's definitely, um an insane movie. We should if we're gonna do like a bundle of these sequels, I could spend more time on Exorcist 3. But
I
anyway,
apologize for trashing it so hard. I honestly I saw it years ago and I just half watched it and I in the episode I was like, it was a snoozer and it was a stinker. It probably wasn't that bad. I wasn't just paying attention as much as I didn't review it like I review Cloverfield or, any show we have done, movie we've done for any previous episode.
it
So
is a very weird, very, very weird movie. And it's all over the place. But like I'm was kind of okay with all the places it was taking me. But I it's a pretty good sequel to The Exorcist without being The Exorcist.
there's the scene with the nerd, like the one scary movie. It's like rated one of the top scariest moments in horror movies, like where what she comes out of the room with the knife really quickly, following the other nurse or something.
I don't wanna give it away to
I well, yeah. So
audience,
I mean,
but
but it's yeah, but I mean, it's a long movie too, isn't it? Like 2 hours or something.
2 hours, yeah, not
Yeah,
bad,
yeah. But yeah,
but
we could talk about it in a little bundle thing. Maybe you come over and we talk about it. I'm thinking about getting something too. I haven't sent it to you yet, but I'm thinking about getting something where we can like talk into mics like and sit in front of each other and do
mhm.
things like this.
You could
So
just
maybe
yell at me in person about my horrible taste in movies.
yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe that could be a future point five, but we're gonna dip into the mail sack on this episode and read what you think. And also, if you saw The Exorcist 3 and if you enjoy The Exorcist 3, you can email us as well, and we could talk about it in a future episode, even if it's not a movie that we reviewed. I'm looking forward to the future of movies that we said we're going to review at least for the next month and a half. But we'll get to that at the end of this episode. So, where do we start? Do we agree that we're going to go back and forth, or am I just going
Sure,
to do?
so I
Okay.
can start and I'll read so we have a few, Apple reviews and a few of them are, like, old, like, when we first started the podcast, and then there's a couple that are more recent. So, the first one, and I'll just say, written by Spooky Speeg.
Hey, Speed.
And it just says,
Yeah.
"Yes, please, stoke for these 2 powerhouses to join forces and bestow their vast knowledge upon us." So, he definitely was excited before we even knew whether we could do this properly, so we appreciate that enthusiasm. Um, Do you want? You know what? These are short, Sean. Do you
Go
want to
ahead,
read these and then we'll
run
go
through
through
them.
into the mail? I almost was like, should I read them like Morgan Freeman? I had a thought to be like, I should read
If
them.
one of them's about 7, or
Yeah.
Lucy.
There's another one that says the perfect podcast for the nerdy horror fan,
Yo, put that on the back of the shirt.
and the name is just it says the name is VS4782.
Shout out to VS.
And then balls to the wall badassery.
Yes.
It says, and it's got like a bunch of flames and the metal emoji, hand emoji, and the skull, and it says, "What more can be said?"
Hell yeah. That's
And
a
that's
great
by
review.
written by Rabid Cadaver Dog.
I
All
love it.
right. And then Psycho Ninja 47, who I know and you know as well, wrote, "Love this show. Always been a fan of Vertebrae 33 as an artist, and listening to him teaming up with the Butcher to geek out to these classic flicks is a great time. Congrats and all the luck to you fellas."
That's beautiful.
And then the most recent one, the title is The Milking of the Alpacas.
Oh, cool.
And it says, "I heard about this show while I was listening to Liquid Metal about 8 months ago. I've been
Mhm,
hooked since. I love
mhm,
learning about all the little
mhm.
hidden gnarly bits from some of
Beautiful.
my favorite movies. Keep up the good work." And that comes from Lick My Sack. That's the name of the reviewer.
That's the last one we got.
That's the last one we got. That
That
I couldn't even say it without laughing, but that's
that
the
is so
that's the
cool.
name
So,
that they typed into reviews. And then we have a bunch of other just 5-star reviews. So on Apple, you can either write a review, write words in, or you can just hit like stars on the thing. So we'd appreciate if anyone did either of them. It's obviously fun if you write one in there because we will read it. And then we have those reviews, and then we have a bunch of 5-star ratings as well. So pretty
I mean,
awesome.
listen, we love patting ourselves on the back, but there's nothing we love more than you patting us on the back as well. That's good to see. I'm glad over this past year we've built this fun little community and doing these weird ass movies. We started as horror, but then we ended the year with Die Hard. So now we don't even know what
Mm-mm.
direction we're taking it, but we're staying in the creepy realm of things. Definitely. But shall we do it? Shall we dip into? We set up a poll, I think a month ago, for either male madness or male sack one, but we could still
Mhm.
call it male madness from time to time. If you email us inmadnesspod@gmail.com. We will highlight it on the show like I'm about to do right now as we dip into the mail sack.
Mail sack.
We're going to start with Hunter Higgins. This is from November 26th. Is that like right after Thanksgiving or like
Yeah.
during Thanksgiving? Categorizing the pod. Oh, look at this email. We got a big one here. What's up, Butcher and Vertebrae? So on your last Gnarly Bits episode, you guys talked about how you don't really believe you are a horror movie podcast. I
Mm.
just said that. I'd agree with that. I'd term you as nihilistic movie podcast. Almost every film you guys have covered has some kind of apocalyptic end of days, no happy ending theme, give or take a couple of movies, which fits the In Madness name. I don't think any of Lovecraft's stories ever have happy endings, LOL. But
Mhm.
anyway, I love the way you guys melt all the things I love into one badass show I can listen to. Movies, music, and so much other stuff. Sean, I've always loved your stuff on Liquid Metal. Thank you. And Vertebrae, you're a new addition in my list of people that fucking rule. Look at that. You guys
Wow, that's awesome.
you guys have introduced me to a couple of really awesome movies, The Menu and Ex Machina.
Yes. You
I
got it.
would I would love to see you review an animated movie, specifically Akira,
Oh.
which is on the list. It's in the A's. It's the first, like one of the first ones on the list.
It's
But
on
God,
the list. That's a lot.
it might be a month-long episode because I can't. It's gonna be so much. It's gonna be so much. I would love to do Akira. Akira is one of my favorite movies ever, ever, ever. I'm going to post a picture of the Akira VHS I have because Vertebrae
Mhm.
knows how much I love VHS. And I'm going to post that on our socials at In Madness
Yeah, I
Pod. Make
mean,
sure you follow us. That was from Hunter Higgins. P.S. Vertebrae, who are some of your favorite comic artists? Sean, if you read comics, I'd like to know your picks too. Ooh, I got my comic book box right here. Okay, definitely. I'll show you exactly. The Max. I love the Max. Great,
mhm.
great comic book. I love Mike Mignola, Jay Lee, Mike Zeck, and the GOAT, Bernie Wrightson.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, Bernie Wrightson's one of my kind of art heroes. I think we mentioned Bernie on a previous. Did we mention Bernie on a podcast? The Interdeck. Yeah, I did because I was in the Bernie Wrightson tribute book, and I had an interaction with him that kind of changed the course of my career, and that's in that book. You can get it by Printed in Blood with a Bernie Wrightson tribute book, which is amazing. Mike Mignola is, hands down one of the best. I have a whole shelf full of Hellboy books and other Mignola books over there. I hate getting put on the spot because we don't read these in advance, so I can't kind of look at my stack of books that I have and I read on a regular basis. But I mean, listen, the Todd father and Todd McFarlane has done a lot for me in the past. You always got to give it up to him.
Is that what
Um,
he's called in the art world? The art world, the Todd Father.
I've heard him referred to as
That's
as that,
He's
so
one of
I
my
think it's
favorites, dude.
fantastic. I think we should stick with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'll do? Actually, I will post. We'll make a post on our socials when I kind of go through books that I have here because I don't want to slight anyone by just naming. It's easy to name McFarlane and Bernie Wrightson, but there's a ton of other people that I think should get some light shine on them. So maybe we'll do a post of some covers or something of some books that I'm currently reading. Because my to-do list of reading is astronomical at this point, but I squeeze in comics and graphic novels in between. So we'll do a whole post on that.
I love that we're finally talking about comics on this show. It's one of the things I wanted to highlight. That's why I love these point fives because now we could talk about everything. So that was Hunter Higgins. Shout outs to Hunter Higgins. That was a phenomenal email. You can hit us in the mail sack in madnesspod@gmail.com. We will read your email on the show. Let's go to the next one from Thomas Cops 2. Loving the pod. And he puts in parentheses, not spam. Thank you. That helps a lot. Whoa, whoa. Okay, we got a long email, so strap in. Sup, guys?
Okay.
Sorry this took so long. As this email is long overdue. Originally, I got hip to you guys on a thread on the Red River Podcast Facebook. Shout out to the Red River Podcast Facebook. I follow them. I believe my buddy Sam Hoyos from Playing Dead has a hand in that show somehow. But yes, shout outs to them. They rule. I posted a funny meme about The Mist, which you guys serendipitously had just reviewed and you guys commented on it. Oh, very cool. It took me a bit after that to start listening, but you guys were on my radar. 6
Hmm.
weeks ago, I started to dig into the back catalog and I fucking love the show. And more importantly, the community you've built. Man, I'm tearing up. I almost caught up skipping The Mist for now as we are recording our own review. Respect, that's awesome, but we will
Mhm.
most definitely put over you guys on our episode, putting us over, hell yeah. But I want to shout out two episodes in particular. Actually, my ADHD just kicked in and I wanted to shout out in real time as I just started the In Madness playlist on the Spotify and fucking love the Shut 'em Down remix. I put the Shut 'em Down remix from Public Enemy for John Connor's Public Enemy shirt in the Terminator episodes we did.
Nice.
I love it, man. This show is so much fun, and doing stuff like that is like the little cool tidbits that are fun too. Okay, he's back. First, the Lucy episode. Okay, hang
Mm,
on. Hang on. Everybody shake it off for a second. Oh, the Lucy episode ruled for sure. Okay, I feel better.
okay. All right.
Ironically, that just got added
Hey.
to Netflix, so I'll check that out. They just put it on Netflix. I smiled when I saw it. Come on, it's a good movie. That was one of those podcasts where I was working my part-time job at Miller Park, home of Milwaukee Brewers, and it was like 1 a.m. I'm all alone in the stadium battling sausage costumes, and that episode helped me keep my cool. after I suplex the bratwurst. That's pretty funny. I don't know what
That's
the
pretty awesome.
definitely one of those I remember when listening moments. Funny enough, I also thought we only use 10% of our brains too. Not sure why anyone would not like that episode. The episode's great, just not many people like the movie, I guess.
Oh.
The other one is the Batman episode. Okay. That was one of those episodes where you guys passion bleed through the microphone and had me hooked. I like Batman in general. Yeah, Stoke Pattinson was playing him, not so much. Okay. However, you guys totally turned me around.
Mm.
By the end, you guys had me all in on Batman, and now I'm doing a deep dive, including the comics, one of the best reviews I have ever heard, period. Whoa.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
amazing.
Also, love the appreciation. Oh, eat the turnbuckle. Gods hate Brody King. Rad dudes. Love seeing him get some shine. Shout outs to Schlack. He met Schlack in a dingy bathroom in Milwaukee. Also, I have a recommendation, which ironically, 10 minutes before I typed this, you guys said you were doing in the near future. The Crow.
Mm.
Talk about a game changer for me. The fond memories for sure. Plus, want to talk about a real life milking of the alpacas moment if there ever was one. Love the pod and appreciate all you guys do. Any merch or if you start a Patreon, sign me up. Sorry for the novel. I'm looking forward to your Christmas movie review. Appreciate all you guys do. Mott Spock, Facebook, just my legal name backwards. Oh, gotcha. High Five Tom on Twitter, Milwaukee Tom on Discord. Oh, he's got something here not for public consumption. We'll leave that part out here.
Okay.
That's a hell of a review. Shout outs to Thomas Cops too. Very cool.
That's awesome. Wow, thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's really neat.
That is so sick. What a review. That's so
Yeah.
cool. We got a couple more. Thank you for hitting us in the mail sack. Anything you want to talk about, we will discuss on our point fives here on episode 23.5 about your podcast on YouTube. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. Hey, I stumbled on your podcast. You just posted lots of interesting comments in here. As you know,
Is
oh,
it
this
fake?
is like it's a fake one. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
Hey.
got duped. We got duped. Okay,
So, make sure
delete.
you guys put something in parentheses because we don't read these in advance. We're reading them now as we're recording them, and you should put, like, actual write, like, actual review or something. Because right when they were like, "Hey, I just stumbled upon," I feel like that's, like, those classic
A
I
bot.
get those all the time. Yeah, those bot things.
This next email is for me somehow, for some reason. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it's here. Let's open it
From
up.
the future.
It's from you.
What? No.
Oh, this is something about something else for a point five, for a future point five you emailed me
Ah,
about. Yeah,
look at
and I
that.
sent it here so I wouldn't forget about it.
Ah, it was from you. It was from me to you to an email to here
Back to
live
here.
in this
Yeah,
recording. There it
yeah.
is. See, this I like that this is happening because this shows that we don't prep for what people are going to ask us in these. We just read them.
Blindly. That's the fun part. We got 2 more to go. We got 2
Okay.
more to go. Hopefully, they're as complimentative as the other ones were. This is our buddy Jason Blankenship. We know Jason Blankenship. He's
Mm-hmm.
been on previous point fives before. Okay, not too long. All good. Jason Blankenship. The Exorcist, Captain Howdy, spreading in madness love. I'm halfway through part 1 of your coverage of The Exorcist when you started talking about Captain Howdy. As someone who's sort of into music, I wondered if you ever listened to Twisted Sister. Of course, they have a song called Horror Tyria. It's a 2-part song. Part 1 is all about someone named Captain Howdy. D. Snyder also created a character, Captain Howdy, of course, in the 1998 movie Strangeland, which I watched so many times in junior high school and high school, which could kind of be described as a detective movie, horror movie. It's sort of like a low budget Saw before Saw. So I would say The Exorcist left an impression on D. Snyder. Also, I want to let you know that every time I see one of these is Die Hard a Christmas movie questions on any type of social media post, I've been posting the link to your Die Hard episode.
Ah,
Cool.
thank you.
Keep up
Thank
the
you.
good work, Jason from Ohio. Thank you, Jason Blankenship. Vertebrae. Did you ever see Strangeland with D. Snyder?
Yeah, once, but a long time ago. But yes, yeah.
and like the piercing torture or whatever he did.
Yeah, yeah, I have to. It wasn't like it was on, like I was somewhere and it was on, so it wasn't like me viewing it on my own and just soaking in it. It was like a party or something and somebody just had it on, but
I had a friend who was obsessed with it, so I watched it like a billion times with him.
mm,
Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's one we're going to cover on a Madness Pod or not, but I have heard of it and I have seen it. We got one more left.
okay, here we go.
Tom Henderson, who's also been on a previous point five, and he's got a long one here for us. So this is how we're
Awesome.
wrapping up for the night. If you want to hit us in the mail sack in madnesspod@gmail.com, we will read your email. So make sure it's appropriate to be read. Or if you want to trash us, I'll read that too. We'll have a little fun here. Die Hard episode. Tom Henderson. Ayo, Sean and Vertebrae. Ayo. Hope you both had a wonderful holiday and that Santa or Krampus brought you exactly what you wanted. You got cool gifts, Vertebrae? What was one of your favorite gifts you got?
Oh, I don't know. You put me on the spot. I don't know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got a bunch of cool books. I always get cool stuff, but yeah, I got, what did I get? I don't know. Cool mug, cool books, cool clothes, neat stuff. Nothing crazy. I end up getting the really weird stuff on my own because I don't want to have to make anyone go and figure me out, so
I
to
got
speak.
Home Depot cards so I can go get spackle and leaf bags.
I mean, that's perfect. What's wrong with that? That's perfect.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas. It was a good Christmas. I got some cool stuff. I got some cool toys. I got a Godzilla Megalon toy. I mean, you can't
Nice.
go wrong. You can't go wrong. Wonderful holiday. Brought you exactly what you wanted. Sorry, not sorry for the email length. All good. After listening to your Die Hard episodes, I was intrigued by your discussion about Bill Clay and the moment that Hans gave himself away to McClane. So I went back and rewatched the film. Now this may or may only be Tom facts, but I think that I have a couple of theories. First, Bill Clay. I think that Hans and the other terrorists knew exactly who worked in Nakatomi, just like they knew everything about Takagi. Perhaps each of the goons took a name from the company's roster in case they were caught and had to use an alias with authorities. Bill Clay just so happened to be the ones Hans picked out. Second, I think the thing that gives Hans away is the cigarette McClane gives him. Either McClane really emphasized that these guys were European because of their cigarettes. There's even a dramatic pause before he tells that to Powell. When McClane meets Hans, he offers him a cigarette, which he just takes without making mention of how different the taste flavor of the cigarette is. In addition, Hans pockets the empty cigarette wrapper without even glancing at it. I think that this is the giveaway moment for McClane. This is when he knows that this guy is a European and therefore a terrorist, because immediately after the cigarette, he gives him the empty pistol. Finally, and this may again just be Tom facts, but McClane is present when Hans kills Takagi. In fact, we see Hans's suit and watch from McClane's point of view hiding under the table. Perhaps McClane just put two and two together later when he met Hans for the first time. McClane definitely notices the watch on Hans' wrist when he gives him the cigarette, and maybe he just remembered it from the Takagi scene. Before I go, I wanted to throw something out to you both. Hans Gruber is one of the greatest villains of all time. And since Sean has stated that In Madness is essentially a villains podcast, whatever the hell that I don't even know what that means. Could we start an In Madness Villains Hall of Fame? I already started the In Madness Villains Hall of Fame, in which I hold Miss Carmody from The Mist, Mr. Zhang from Lucy, and Hans Gruber from Die Hard. I think are my three so far in our In Madness
Oh, yeah,
Villains
sure.
Hall of
Wasn't it
Fame.
the dude from, Prometheus too?
Halloway?
Yeah.
No, he's just a dickhead. No,
Uh,
no.
it's also now Travis from Cloverfield. We don't like you, Travis.
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, him and his dumb face. There could be a debate at the end of each episode to see if that film's villain deserves to be inducted into the Villain Hall of Fame. You could even throw it out to us listeners for a vote on the socials. Just a thought. Love you guys. Happy New
Mm,
Year. You're madman from day one. Tom Henderson.
that's awesome. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate
Yo,
it.
man, so cool. Please continue listening, continue spreading the word. We just like having fun and just like spreading this madness with you guys and talking about these movies and watching these movies. Listen, a lot of work goes into
Mhm.
this podcast, and it is no small feat. And we appreciate every single person, day by day, follower by follower, who is taking this trip with us, because we're figuring things out as we go and trying to make it cooler with every episode we do. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the future of In Madness Pod. Was there anything you wanted to get into else for our 23.5?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just you mentioned like the work you put into it, and I realized after we started doing this podcast that I end up putting more work into it than like I give myself extra homework. Like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook now, or I'm gonna read this other witchcraft book or research this other thing." But honestly, like that's what when I really get into a movie, that's what I was sort of doing anyway. I was just doing it on my own. So now I get to do it and share that knowledge with you or other people at the same time. And we get to have this kind of natural conversation that we would be having anyway if we were talking about movies. So I think that's pretty awesome. I It's really cool that people wrote in. That's a lot. Like if you gotta send you write an email and then you send it, like that's steps above just like hitting like on something. So that's really neat. Keep them coming. We'll read
Tell
them.
your friends.
Yeah.
Yes, keep them coming.
But no, I think that's about it. I know I wanted to mention somebody had posted it and I retweeted it, but somebody had put up a photo of themselves listening to an episode of our podcast with his cat in his hand with my cat pentagram shirt from Hot Topic on. So I thought that was pretty amazing. We retweeted. I think Aryan Madness did too as well. So you'll be able to see it there. But yeah, send in any photos if you want. We'll put them up. I do want to get now to a comic book post. We'll have to take some shots of some comics and kind of do maybe we should just integrate them as we go along. Um,
Maybe we'll do, man. We could hop on an Instagram live and do something too. We haven't done one of those in a while. Maybe we run through our like book collection. I have my comic books here. We could just look at comic books and shit. Like we don't have to do anything. Just pull some out of the rack. Be like, yo, check this out. Open it up to a random page. Show some art. Just like something fun for a half hour.
yeah, yeah, I would have to prep because if I started going through stacks of stuff, it would be
You'd be like, oh my god, I'm taking it out of alphabetical order. I need
we're,
this. I need this.
we're meandering. We'd be meandering around a collection, which we don't need to do. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. We maybe we will do an Instagram live.
We'll think
Again, I
about it.
just hate
Yeah.
holding the phone when we do the Instagram live. I got to get like
Yeah.
I
You
have
gotta
a
get
phone holder
the arm. I got
somewhere.
the arm thing
Yeah,
here.
I got an arm somewhere, so maybe we'll do that. But I appreciate everybody listening. This is a quick one. And Sean, do you want to tease our next episode?
Yeah, so follow us on the socials at In Madness Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, and hit us in the mail sack. We can talk about anything you want on these point 0.5 episodes. We will dive in probably sometime at the end of next month and talk about anything you want from any of our previous episodes. The teaser for the next movie. I mean, I like the one you did, so I'm gonna do the riff and then you can sing it. Da, 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 da.
I'm not singing it.
Come on, smoke
Smoke
on
on
the
the water.
water. We'll see you on the next episode of In Madness Pod.